All right, now let's head over, starting off with Nigeria with the front page. The big story here, how Tinubu shunned Northwest governors settled for Shettima. Northwest governors preferred one of them. Zulum turned down offer, says sources. CAN, that's the Christian Association of Nigeria. Catholic Secretariat fault Tinubu one Muslim ticket insensitive. Tinubu allays fears, says religion, ethnicity cannot always determine our path. Now, at the top of the paper, we have AAC allocation dropped to 2.1 trillion in 3 months. That's on page 26. Terrorists demand 4.3 billion naira for Kaduna train hostages. We're still following up with that story. It's on page 19. Manufacturers threatened shutdown over soaring diesel prices. We are at the verge of something very interesting. It's rather, a bit scary to see how these things are turning out. Court demands billionaire linked to Kyari drug deal on page 14. IOCs to remit 400 billion naira oil debt by July. Oil debts July, says NNPC, that's on page 24. And NIACOM vows fresh sanctions on airing insurance companies on page 24 as well. Now let's go to the bottom of the paper. This is a very interesting one. I'm sure Salge has an experience in this regard. Fuel hits 250 naira per litre in Abuja. Others, queues spread. What was your fuel experience?
Well, I bought a 165 yesterday, and it was actually it wasn't a short queue, but it didn't take me 20 minutes or 30 minutes max before I was able to fill my tank yesterday. So luckily, of course, I didn't get to struggle too much yesterday, even if I got there late. But the people in Abuja have been dealing with this this is what, 3 months or 4 months now. It's not new that fuel is scarce in the Federal Capital Territory, and I don't understand it because it's just in the FCT.
I mean, I was having a conversation with a friend outside the continent, and she was saying to me that what they would never have a fuel scarcity. That rather they would increase the fuel prices. Once the fuel prices increased, pump price has been increased, but you would always get fuel to buy. So now it's rather scary to see that fuel is 250 per litre in Abuja. And I don't know if this is talking about the black market or actually the pumps, but the photo we can see on the front page of the Punch newspaper shows people queuing at the filling station. So I shudder to think of what it would actually cost in the black market. As we can see that photograph, it's at the fuel station, and they're saying it's hitting 250 per litre. That means black market should be like 400 naira. How should the average man be able to run a business, survive? I mean, it's very unsettling. Now, still on the front page of the Punch, 17 bodies of Lagos boat accident victims recovered. Rainfall, residents in Lagos lament flooding, transport fare hike. And I don't know if it's going to get any easier with the predictions for the rainfall. Hajj operators decry hitches, demand refund from NACON. 3 more stories here and it's a wrap. My kidnappers threatened large-scale attacks on Yoruba land, says victim. That's on page 3. 4 and 5, Salah travelers, others trapped in Lagos-Ibadan expressway traffic. The traffic the past few days has been wild. Osun governorship candidates disagree on arms for Amotek, and that's all that we can take this morning on the Punch newspaper.
All right, moving on, still in Nigeria, the Daily Trust newspapers comes up next, and there's an exclusive story there. It says families paid 800 million naira to secure release of 7 Kaduna train captives. Of course, on the Punch this morning, it said there that they were requesting 4.3 or 4.7 billion naira. But yes, it says 800 million naira to secure the release of 7 train captives, ransom paid in dollars and naira. How Boko Haram partnered bandits for train attack. Captors behind Kuje jailbreak, they jubilated on return, says a freed captive. It's a journey to the valley of death, says the released FCT UBEC director. 2023, why I chose Shettima as running mate. That's going to be the biggest conversation, I'm guessing, all through
for the week. Yeah.
The Muslim ticket. I've seen a couple of views from Aisha Yusufu and hundreds of others, completely condemning it. Looking forward to seeing.
But did we not foresee that this was going to eventually be how it would play out?
Well, I'd rather not share my thoughts. High expectations as NNPC takes off as a corporate body. Despite concerns, FAN finally shuts Lagos Airport domestic runway. And also on the Daily Trust PDP crisis, Atiku returns to lead Osun governorship campaign. 2 pupils die after suffocating in school bus. And finally, Buratai to sue Sahara reporters for linking him to recovered 1.85 billion naira.
Okay, that's all that we have on the Daily Trust. Let's move over to Zimbabwe with the Newsday on the front page of Newsday paper. Gold coins, a looting scheme. That's the big story there. We can see the photograph of a truck laden with bales of second-hand clothes lying on its back after the driver lost control and veered off the road following an overtaken error 5 kilometers outside Rusape along the Harare-Mutare highway at the weekend. Smuggling of second-hand clothes is rampant along the country's border with Mozambique. We can see that. We hope no life was lost. Zim rakes in $700 million US from diamonds. Diamonds are forever. And the final story here, Kadoma Arts Group storms into Chubuku Neshamwari finals. That's all that we can take on the front page of Newsday. It's always a very light paper, nothing too busy, very, very easy breezy.
Yeah.
Let's move over from there to South Africa.
And let's see what we can find on the Sowetan this morning. Of course, we spoke about a little bit about this already. The Tavern Massacre. It says, "Plain dead saved me." Survivor tells of a man spraying an AK-47 rifle on patrons just a few meters from him. 2 more with handguns came in to finish off the job. Wow. Scores stung by fictitious online store, and also justice miscarried. A family vows to fight for justice for a man slain in student protests. We can also find on the Sowetan this morning footage of a midfielder sways new coach, that's in sports, and also why Box made a U-turn. Finally, on the Sowetan, promoter demands Makazi pay back the money. And we can also find Katsande dilemma for PSL club. Those are the stories that we can find at this time, and we can share with you across the continent, the major stories making headlines across the continent at this time. We have more of them coming your way, of course, in the second half of the program this morning. But stay with us.